fight fans. I'm Michelle Joy Phelps, and I'm joined now with heavyweight prospect Solomon DACRES. Solomon, it's nice to finally meet you.
And yourself, thank you.
Yeah, so congratulations first and foremost on signing with SJAM Boxing. SJAM actually sponsors Behind the Gloves, so welcome to the family.
So yeah, it's good to be there. It's good to be there.
So how are you? You've been a busy man these days, you know, sort of being the sparring partner to both Daniel Dubois and Joyce.
Yeah, I've just been busy, you know, just for me, it's just work at the end of the day, you know. There's a big fight coming up, 2 top heavyweights, and I've got the opportunity to go and work with both of them and get the sparring in, get the quality rounds in, which nothing beats it in preparation for this game. You know, sparring is the best way to prepare, so nothing better than 2 top fighters.
Mm-hmm. It's not common that you see a sparring partner being shared in the lead up to a big fight like this. Sort of explain what that's been like for you, because, you know, there's been headlines, you know, like, is there a mole in camp? So what do you make of it?
It's just all, you know, talk really more than it's worth. You know, at the end of the day, it's just sparring. You know, just coincidence that I was turning over now. I've signed with SJAM. You know, the offer was there to spar before I signed with SJAM, and the offer was there after I signed. So at the end of the day, it's just sparring, and I'm one of the top guys in the country. You know, coming from the amateur scene, so they want the best preparation they can get, and same for me. So it's just sparring at the end of the day. You know, it's worth more the actual sparring than the talk about it. You know, so.
Did Daniel Dubois say anything to you, even just jokingly, after you signed with SJAM?
No, not really. He's not much of a talker, so he didn't really say too much, you know. But because he's just, you know, about his business. But you know, speaking to even Martin Bowers, his coach, he was all open. He said it's not going to change the outcome of the fight. At the end of the day, what's going to happen is going to happen. You know, we're just preparing, same way Joe's preparing. So nothing more to it, really.
Did you find that you were sort of in and out, as opposed to hanging out, maybe watching a bit, because of the fact that you're affiliated with both?
Yeah. How do you mean, like in and out of the camp?
No, like in and out. So once sparring was done, like, no, it's not like some guys stick around and want to watch. Did you find that it was?
No, I was, you know, both camps. You know, I was welcomed into the gym. You know, Martin Bowers let me, you know, train with the guys on the days we weren't sparring. You know, I was in the gym all the same time as Dan was in the gym. You know, I was just training, just getting the work in.
Well, like you were saying, you are the top choice. You stand at 6'5". You're a big guy, which is a big advantage going into the scene. You're 26 years old. Your debut.
Just turned.
Oh, you just turned 27. Okay. Your debut is supposed to be early 2021. Is that correct?
Yeah, hopefully January. Hopefully we can get out in January.
What I found interesting about your story is that you used to play rugby.
Yeah.
So there was a gap of, what was it, 5 years, where you weren't boxing at all. Yeah. What was it that made you make that decision to want to be a boxer?
I always loved boxing, really, and for me it was a sport of choice, but rugby was more like the school sport, so it was something I'm every day, you know, I could go and do at school sort of thing, so I pursued it more because it was more in my face. Boxing was sort of like, you have to go and find the gym. I had a friend at the gym. That's how I got there. But because it was just a school sport and I was just going along with it that way. But then I thought, I really want to give it a good go, because, you know, I've always loved boxing and I wanted to properly, you know, get my head down and get stuck into it and do great things. So yeah, I've been on the GB for 4 years. Just boxing internationally all over, you know, getting medals at different tournaments against other countries. And I've been in there 4 years, which, you know, for a lot of people, that's an Olympic cycle. So in terms of experience in that time frame, I've had it. I fought with the top guys, just barring the Olympics, which has been postponed, and, you know, I just decided to turn over.
You also won the 2017 England Boxing Elite National Championships. which is obviously something that Anthony Joshua has achieved. Let's talk a bit about what it's been like for you. I mean, you're not even one fight into the pro ranks and you're already sparring with the top level heavyweights. So what's that been like for you?
It's just, for me, it's all about, setting goals and setting levels and reaching them. So for me, sparring those guys, that's what I want to do, because that's where I want to be at the end of the day. It's not like out of reach sort of thing. It's, okay, let me see where I'm against these top guys and what I've got to work on and just get to that level.
Could you tell me who you felt was the best spar?
The best spar, it changes all the time, So, they've all got their strengths. The same you see on fight night. Like, obviously, sparring Joe, after the round, it's a tiring experience because he's very, he's all over you, and he's got that high work rate. But then sparring Dubois, it's just like he's got that power. He's got great technique. So they're both their strengths, and it's just, whichever your favour, really.
There's been sparring rumors that Daniel Dubois has actually dropped Anthony Joshua before. Which of the two would you say is the strongest?
Between Dubois and
Joshua.
It's one punch power is very close, very close. They can both dig. Joshua's a bit more seasoned. He's got a bit more, I'd say more hand speed. Combination punching. But when it comes to just one punch power, they're both very similar. Both can bang, definitely.
So, I have to ask this question. Yeah. Being that you've been in the ring with both leading up to this big fight, who you got? Who you think's gonna pull it off?
Tell you the truth, my mind changes every week that I spar him. So I'll spar Joe and I'll think, his work rate, his engine, he could get him out there late. And then I spar Dubois the next week. I think, you know what, he's got the strength, he's got the technique, very powerful jab, and I'm thinking, will he break up Joe's rhythm? So it really is like sitting on the fence sort of thing, and it's just how their styles gel, really. So I don't know.
I'm still not answering my question. Have you had the opportunity to spar with Tyson Fury?
No, that's one of the top guys I haven't had the chance to. I'd love to spar with Tyson Fury. I've never been in the ring with him now.
Well, being that you're entering into that division, naturally, I just want to know, like, next year, it looks like we're going to have that fight between Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury, hopefully for the undisputed. At this point, we don't really know what's going to happen with the WBO title because Alexander Usyk is not willing to step aside, so that possibly may not be on the line. But nonetheless, a big, huge domestic fight between the two, massive. It would be absolutely amazing for the sport of boxing to have a fight like that, and hopefully in front of fans. Do you have anyone that you favorite in that fight?
Again, it's down to styles. They both got a chance. Josh. A lot of people are saying Fury's just going to outbox Joshua, but Joshua's Olympic gold medalist. He's not Deontay Wilder. He's a real top class boxer as well. And he's got the power behind him. And then Fury, you just don't know what Fury can bring to the game. He can bring anything, really. So that's another class matchup that, we've got to just see it to see what happens, really, because you can talk either way, but you got to actually see the fight, and then that's the only way to see what's going to happen, man. That's going to be a quality fight when that happens. Hopefully it does.
Is there anyone that you look at now that you admire, but then you think, I could beat that guy? Because, and the only reason I say this is because when Tyson Fury was in camp early on in his career, and he was watching Vladimir Klitschko, he always used to believe, like, I could beat that guy. So I'm wondering if there's anyone that, although you admire them for what they've achieved, that you feel like your style would trouble them.
All the top guys, I've got the confidence in myself that when I get to that level of experience, I can beat them all and become a world champion. That's my ambition at the end of the day. So, given the right time and the experience, I believe, when it all comes together, I'm going to have the full confidence that I can beat anyone at the top level. because
So no one in particular, huh?
whoever's got the titles, that I want to be. Whoever's got a world title, that's the level I want to, win, and that's what I want to win. So I've got to have confidence. Whoever's got it, I'll beat them when the time comes, of course.
Well, I mentioned another person who just entered into into the heavyweight scene, which was Alexander Usyk. He's had 2 fights so far. What did you make of his performance against Chisora, and how do you think that he's going to sort of fare against the bigger guys, like such as yourself? I mean, he's not the tallest and the widest. Do you know what I mean? He's stylistically, he has the ability to give anybody trouble, but size-wise, he doesn't have that advantage.
Yeah, he's a great boxer, very skillful. He's going to be very tricky for any of the top guys, but I just think the size level, for a Fury, a Joshua, at that level, I think the size will be the difference, because they've got the great skill, but they've got that extra power and, that little bit more than him. If everything's on a level playing field, boxing-wise, they've got that strength, they've got the power, and I think he might come up short. He could surprise you, but I think he's a little bit too small for the top guys, but he's still a solid contender, really.
Another fight that is the same night that we have showing on BT Sport Box Office is the return of Mike Tyson versus Roy Jones Jr. Are you a fan of what they're doing, or are you like some people and you're just not really sure how you feel?
I'm not sure. Like, you'd want them to leave it alone, they're legends in the game. Just, everything speaks for itself. But you know what? They must just have that fire still where, they're fighting men. So they just want to fight. And I might not want to see it, but I'm going to watch it. That's for sure. So, we'll see what happens. But, they must have that fire in the belly. So fair play to them. But personally, I think the legends should leave it be. But if they want to fight, man, they fight. They're grown men at the end of the day, and they got that fire. And I'll be watching it, definitely.
I think everyone's going to watch it, whether or not they agree with it. I think that everyone's going to stay up to make sure that they see that. But do you worry that it could possibly open up a can of worms, and we might start seeing, like Evander Holyfield has mentioned that he would like to come back and fight. We have talks of Oscar De La Hoya wanting to do the same thing. Do you have concerns about that at all?
Potentially, it could happen, and we just get a load of throwback fights, but it could happen. But hopefully there's a bit of sense being spoken elsewhere, and they just, leave it where it is, and just be happy with their careers, because they've done everything in the game, so they don't need to prove anything else really at the end of the day.
You're sort of coming onto the scene right in the midst of a pandemic, which unfortunately doesn't put you in a position right now to sort of fight in front of crowds. Does that bum you out a bit that you're not able to, have that experience initially?
Yeah, a little bit. Obviously, that's a buzz, isn't it, when the crowds are there? It's the atmosphere. But for me, just fighting, it's got to be no new experience. I've boxed in all sorts of countries with no one hardly there anyway. So when it comes to fight time, it's going to be nothing new to me, but it's a little buzz that I'll be looking forward to when it does finally come back.
Has anyone given you advice, any really helpful advice, like any of the other fighters, or is it sort of like all man for themselves?
You guys have said, like, if you need any advice, when you're turning over and stuff, to talk to me, and people give me the little advice, making sure that things are everything in place, outside of your training and your boxing, little things like that. So yeah, it's good. And coming off the GB squad, there's still a support network there. There's people that have worked with you for years, and they're not just going to leave you out on your feet. They say if you need any support, even Rob McCracken, spoke to him a couple of times on the phone since, and I know I can just pick the phone up and call him if I need to, for anything.
Well, Anthony Joshua's fight's approaching soon against Pulev. Tough fight for him. Tough fight for both of them. Definitely not Pulev's not somebody to be overlooked. And I think that oftentimes, as we've seen in the past, it's the biggest mistake anyone can make, is assuming that when someone's not as famous or popular, they automatically assume that they're not dangerous enough. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So how do you see that fight going?
Obviously, Pulev's dangerous, well experienced. He's only got the one loss to Klitschko. A lot of good wins that might not be, like you say, publicised, but, he's beat a lot of good guys. And I still think Joshua just comes out trumps in that fight, and probably by a stoppage, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, of all the guys that you've met, of the champions, who would you say that you got on with the best?
Got on with the best.
Yeah.
Well, I've done a lot of sparring with Joshua, so and I've known him for a few years. So in terms of that, it's more like in the gym, and that he's like a big brother sort of relationship. I spar with him. I've seen him outside of the gym. And he's been in the same situation as me, coming off GB. So he's been through the same process, and I relate to him more because he's there where I've been. And so in terms of Joshua, I've had more interaction with him. So yeah, be Joshua.
Mm-hmm. What's something that you could tell us about yourself that people wouldn't know based off Google?
Off Google, there's not much on Google. I'm not famous.
Well, there's stuff on there, but you don't often, when people are doing interviews with boxing, it's always about boxing, isn't it? So is there anything that would be interesting for us to know about you, to get to know you better?
Yeah, I'm sure there's plenty that'll start coming out in the future. Just I don't know, on the spot like that, there's there's stuff there, but at the moment I'm just focused on my boxing. So
have you no other hobbies?
And I've been trying to order the PlayStation 5 all day. Can't get it, man. I can't get it. It's been sold out.
Is that the one outlet you have, like, aside from the training, is playing the PlayStation?
Yeah, like gaming. I do like playing the games on that PlayStation. It just takes your mind off the training, and just allows you to get away from the hectic lifestyle a bit. I like to chill. I'm not one of those that goes clubbing and stuff on the weekend. You can't afford it.
Not that you could anymore.
I know, yeah, you can't anyway. But even when you could, if you want to be a top fighter, you need to put all those vices away and just focus on your job. So.
Well, that's something Daniel Dubois has said. He's like, I never had a girlfriend. I don't go out. I don't do anything. I'm not distracted. I only hang out with my family. He seems to be very focused.
There's an extent to it. I think that there's things that will affect your career, and things that, like, you can be a bit sociable and that. But yeah, things that are gonna affect your career, like alcohol, stuff like that. You just gotta be smart and sensible, really, and don't be shy and afraid of being a bit of a recluse when you need to be, and saying no to people. That's the thing.
Yeah, exactly. I know it's just as much of a mental sport than it is of a physical one. So definitely important to take care of that, which is why I like to ask people what they like to do outside of boxing, because you can't overtrain your body and overwork your minds, because then we've seen that it's actually gone against someone,
definitely,
in the ring.
And I know a lot of boxers will be the same, man, just love eating as well, so eating all the time, and I'm a heavyweight, but you got to keep that under wraps as well. You got to watch what you put in your mouth, but I like going for food, stuff like that. Just nothing too major, just relaxed.
So for those who are seeing you for the first time, how would you describe your style?
My style is very fast hands, very explosive, pressure fighter. Very, like I say, exciting, and you'll see it when I come fight night. I'm very explosive, powerful, very quick hands, very tough as well. We hope not to show the toughness too soon, but when it's needed, it's going to be there. And it's just a great fighter and great boxing skill that I've been developing over the years. I could always have a fight, but the boxing skills developed as well, being on the GB squad. So all rounder, but very exciting, powerful, and explosive.
Right. Well, look, I look forward to seeing your career develop. You have a solid team in SJM Boxing, so welcome to the family.
Thank you.
And any final words, anything you want to say?
Just, keep your eye on me when I finally do get out, hopefully January time. Just tune in, anyone that's watching, and then you start to see, the real deal, and what I'm really about when I get in the ring, and it's going to be, a great journey.
Right. Well, look, I look forward to seeing you fight and make your pro debut, and hopefully we can get another interview with you once you have your opponent announced. And I wish you nothing but the best.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
All right. We'll speak with you soon.
Nice one. Thank you very much.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Hey Fight fans, it's Michelle Joy Phelps. If you haven't already subscribed to our YouTube channel, make sure you do so by clicking this icon right here, or else